gosh. It is hard to see, huh? With the mic
So
here.
my question is, for the live stream, do we want to keep the book like that, or do we want? Oh, are they all on the same side?
They're all on the same side.
Because like the other thing we could do is like try and push it out of the way.
Like that. You can actually see.
Just careful, the mics are live, so, or they were. about that. Luckily, it'll be hidden by the podium. I just didn't know what kind of smacking mess is going to be out here.
So I'm gonna,
Slickers
I'm going
are
to.
going to, you know, some of the kinks. Like, there's some areas of sound.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
That's all right. I mean,
And I'm back to the second week of July.
So you're gonna go away from like July 1st.
Okay.
No, just like the first to the 7th.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, I'm no way.
Every time I had to sign a yearbook, I saw you. Thanks for the pressure. From Officer Wilson. It's a very quiet group up here. Deep in thought. I just told total exhaustion. Hot mic now. Mic, yeah, mic guy.
Warned us that the mic is on.
Lightning highly. And that was why they moved it. Because we were going to take all of the lines separately. Good morning. 2022. Thank you for being here today to honor our graduates. Even on less than an ideal weather day, at least it's kind of cooperated now, the ability to even hold this event and to keep such important traditions feels like a blessing after these last 3 years. The return of the Sally Borden culminating ceremony last week and the 8th grade carnival for their schoolmates on Monday are vital and time-tested FA traditions. Today, on class day, we officially mark the close of our 8th graders' time at Friends, which is situated on the Beech Tree Terrace, just over on the other side of the building, is the historic school bell from when Friends Academy was located in New Bedford. Over 150 years ago, it was the bell that called students to school each day, and today our bell is used to open each new school year and to close the year on class day. Amy Peckham, farmhouse teacher and Friends Academy graduate herself, will demonstrate the technique for the 8th grade, surprisingly tricky. Following Amy's tutorial, each member of the class of 2022 will have their opportunity to ring the bell. I invite you to listen to the tolling of the Morgan Street bell as our 8th graders begin their transition from students to alumni this morning. Shortly after the last student has gone, the procession will begin. I ask that you please stay seated as the students move from the reed entrance to their seats so that all might be able to see. Students, you may be seated. So I have one technology-related announcement to make, and if you're not currently using your phone, if you could turn it to airplane mode. Because of the weather, we've had to switch from wired connect to wireless, and evidently enough folks are online that's making the signal a little bit unstable. So if you could help with that, that would be great. I still remember my class day at the Valley School of Ligonier nearly 3 decades ago. I remember getting a flower pinned on my blazer. I remember the pictures. I remember the nerves I felt lining up with my classmates. And I remember the head of school's talk about the book Miss Rumphius by Barbara Cooney, and about his desire for us to be like Miss Rumphius and to make the world a more beautiful place. As an aside, the head of school was my father. I know that some in this class can empathize with going through middle school and having your parents working at your school, but I digress. 3 years ago, I decided to borrow my father's tradition and select a book of my own for each graduating class. Mrs. Pope and Miss Pink are all over me starting in January to make my selection so that we can get the books here in time for class day. But it's important to me that the book connects with each class, and sometimes that takes time. This year's selection is a book called A Bike Like Sergio's by Mary Beth Boltz. It's a story about a young boy named Reuben and his strong desire to have what his friends have. The book begins with the line, "Every kid has a bike but me." And we see Reuben struggling to reconcile his family's financial situation with his desire to have a bike just like his friend Sergio's. This central narrative becomes complicated when Reuben is at Sonny's grocery to pick up a few things for his mom. Waiting in line behind the lady in the blue coat, Reuben sees a dollar bill drift from her purse to the floor. Reuben makes the quick decision to pocket that dollar instead of returning it. He rationalizes, as perhaps some of us might, that it's only $1. Later that night, Reuben pulls the bill out of his pocket and uncrumples it and discovers that it's not, as he puts it, $1 or $5 or even $10. It's $100. His mind immediately flashes to that bike that he's been eyeing, even though we get some glimpses of guilt beginning to gnaw at him. A couple of days later, having been sent once more to Sonny's grocery by his mother, Reuben is forced to confront his mistake when he literally bumps into the lady in the blue coat in the store. We see him standing there. His feet are frozen, as he puts it, watching her approach the cash register and reaching into her purse once again. This time, Reuben puts down the thing he was sent for and runs after the lady in the blue coat. He follows her down street after street, passing the bike shop even, until, mouth dry, he's able to summon the courage to say, "Excuse me?" She turns to face him, and Reuben's words bust loose like they've been waiting. When he gives her the $100 bill, the lady in the blue coat's face changes from surprised to joyful to soft. Then, taking his hand in both of hers, she asks his name and says, "Thank you, Reuben. You have blessed me." Her response is filled with grace and with gratitude. Trying to describe the emotions running through him, Reuben says, "I am happy and mixed up, full and empty, with what's right and what's gone." For any of us who have ever done the wrong thing and then made amends for it, I think we know what Reuben's talking about. A Bike Like Sergio's concludes with Reuben coming clean to his family and owning what he did. His mother gives him a hug and tells Reuben that she's proud of him. His father says to Reuben, "What you did wasn't easy, but it was right. I've been thinking a lot about that statement recently. On the one hand, it's a blessing to live in a world that is less reductionistic and less black and white. As people and a society, we have become more aware, more nuanced, and more open. We have come to understand the fallacies that come from strictly either-or thinking. Instead, we recognize that many things exist on a continuum or across a spectrum. On the other hand, swimming in a sea of nuance can also make us hesitant to act and to avoid confronting things like right and wrong. It becomes tempting for us to navigate within these shades of gray. And by this I mean seeking what we want and then finding justification for doing so after. As Ruben's father points out, doing what's right isn't easy. It never has been, and it never will be. What I have found makes it easier is to surround yourself with people who can help you navigate toward doing the right thing. Your family, as was the case for Ruben, is a powerful grounding force for you, a force that will help you to navigate difficult decisions. Even today, as old as I am, I regularly seek counsel from my family. I know that their love and support is unconditional, and that they will teach me and that they will tell me what I need to hear rather than what I want to hear. Good friends will do the same. They will not worry about you getting upset with them when they tell you the truth. They will be there by your side to help you back up after a stumble and to celebrate with you in moments of triumph. We also hope that you will continue to seek counsel from teachers and mentors, that you work to build relationships with folks in your community and at your future schools who can help you to successfully navigate life. None of us can do it all on our own. We need people around us who can help us find our way. May you have and may you continue to find the people who will bring out the very best in you. Your teachers and I wish you not just a good life, but a life guided by being and by doing good. Congratulations, class of 2022. So we now come to the part of class day that everyone, especially the 8th graders, have been waiting for, the introduction of each graduate and the presentation of certificates. Chris Cowherd, head of the middle school, will read each graduate's name one at a time. Each graduate will come forward to receive their certificate through a team effort by Board President Mary Van Pelt and me before taking their place up here at the front of our community. Once they're standing before us, a member of the Friends Academy faculty will share their reflections about them. This year, unfortunately, there are several faculty members who are unable to be with us. In these instances, a colleague will be reading in their stead. Feel free to heartily applaud each member of the class of 2022 as their tribute is completed.
Scarlett Isabella Alexander.
I am reading for Mr. Britt today. I will do my best to send his copious amounts of love. Mr. Britt writes, "You may be small, Scarlett, but your personality is huge. I could list off all of the cool things about you. Accomplished ballerina who somehow is able to balance training tirelessly for the Nutcracker with schoolwork. Fashion icon. 5th grade Freddie Mercury impersonator. Lover of ramen, boba, demon slayer, and the list goes on. Yet, Scarlett, it's the way that you do things that makes you remarkable. You share the things that you love eagerly and make them opportunities for the community to build rather than celebrations for just yourself. Whether it's setting pasta on fire or performing We Are the Champions with a mustache, your joie de vivre lifts us all up. Last year, when everything was upside down, I was always excited for a class period with you. All of those hours playing tag and swinging on the lower playground swing set, talking about life, helped us all get through. KUA is lucky to have your radiant energy.
Molly Evelyn Bell.
I'm also reading for Mr. Britt. Bold is the word, Molly. You are unapologetically you in a way that few people achieve. I remember how nervous you were to start here in 6th grade, and yet, with a dry sense of humor and a huge heart, your years here have seen you push boundaries, stick up for others, and make our little community a kinder place. Whether jamming to hyperpop while playing Gaga or acting in the play, you write your story in bold. About a month ago, one of my 6th grade advisees asked to go and talk to some friends at the Beech Tree Terrace. When I asked if there was an adult there, they said, Molly will be there. Your trusted adult status with those younger than you speaks to your core values: kindness, care, and self-love. You've blazed the trail for them, and they look up to you. I know you'll continue to blaze that trail at Dartmouth High.
Maxim Anselm Borovich.
This is a letter of gratitude from me. Dear Max, thank you for showing us how to be curious, how to be genuine, to be the best versions of ourselves no matter what. For diving into music like a young Jacques Cousteau, taking apart and putting it back together, becoming so excited about how two notes dance together or bead with dissonance that you are overwhelmed with fascination. For demonstrating to our community the one thing that we so desperately desire here at school: for a child to find the spark, consume themselves, embrace the work, all while asking the question, what else can I learn? I know about the hundreds of hours you've spent working through chords and riffs and progressions and beats in your studio. Max, I feel like you've been given the secret to life, the gift of passion. The beautiful thing about music, Max, is that you've begun the process of developing one of the deepest relationships you will ever have with your instrument, with time to explore, with original music, with your bandmates or brothers. It will continue to evolve at Moses Brown into something you could never predict.
Lila Bell Bradford.
Lila, in honor of the recent middle school student performance showcase and your wonderful sense of humor, I feel I must first honor you with a science joke. What type of books are the hardest to get through? Friction books, of course. Lila, you're aware of many hats. You took on the mantle of leadership at Friends Academy with aplomb, helping to plan several amazing events for the middle school this year, as well as taking on the demands of the yearbook. You also made time for sports and friendships, playing a sport every season and expanding your circle of friends. You're deeply thoughtful and sensitive to the needs of others. You're not afraid to seek advice and build bridges. You took the initiative to repeat a science lab independently, actually two, to make sure you understood it conceptually and technically. Your teachers have enjoyed seeing you push through challenges with resilience and determination. Lila, Lincoln School will be proud to have a new leader this fall.
Noah Thomas Brandt.
Noah Brandt, or should I say Noah TB, Noah B, you have so many nicknames it's hard to keep track. I think that is evidence of the impact you have made at FA and on your friends. Each day as I take attendance, it's easy to know when you have arrived as the whole advisory cheers, Noah Brandt's here! This never fails to make you and those in class smile. Teachers have described you as easygoing, kind, and determined. In science, you always took advantage of the opportunities you were given. I saw this in Spanish as well, as you were always looking for extra credit, even at the start of the semester. You are always a giving person and are always willing to share your snacks with those around you. When you came back this year, it's clear your friends were happy to see you return. It has been a pleasure not only being your Spanish teacher, but also your advisor. I look forward to hearing about your future achievements and accomplishments at Portsmouth High School.
Merrick Benjamin Brannigan.
Merrick. One year at Friends Academy. So I'm going to liken your experience here at Friends to a symphony. The first movement is brisk and lively. So you arrive, you jump in head first, you declare your presence and your purpose, and you engage with people and activities that bring you joy. Second movement, slower, more lyrical. Once settled in, you belong and you changed lives, and you brought others joy, and your openness rippled into our community. Third movement, an energetic minuet, a dance. Oh, how you danced, my friend, and sang, and DJ'd, and coached, and raised the bar of this music program. You're a paragon. You provide an example of excellence with unwavering dedication, professionalism, and desire. And finally, the fourth movement, a rollicking finale. You deserve to drop the mic, Merrick, but that's not you. You graciously hand it over to the next batch of students and teachers you've inspired. Thank you for surrounding us in harmony, for bringing us together in a complete symphony. And like the verse said, it's a bittersweet symphony to see you graduate. We will miss you, but your journey has begun, and Tabor Academy will embrace your polyphonic spree.
John Michael Clark.
John. Author Zig Ziglar once wrote, "It's not about where you start or how you start, it's about how you finish. So finish strong." While I can't speak for certain about all the starts and stops you've had on your educational journey, I can say that you are finishing this step very strong. I have to admit that there were some of us who were a little curious about an 8th grader returning for the last 3 to 4 weeks of school, and we were a little worried. But you proved us wrong. From the day you arrived, you made it clear that you were here to work and finish strong. Your teachers have all remarked about your determination to make those weeks productive, as well as the positive influence you had on others. It was also nice to see you come back and reconnect with your peers. I'm sure 4 years from now, we're going to be hearing about your strong finish at Tabor Academy.
Nobre Ivan Carrera.
I'm reading for Mr. Britt. Nobre, you're one of those rare people who can literally say anything and make it funny. In 6th grade, for instance, as we were cleaning up before going home for winter break, I remember your eyes widening in horror as you peered into the depths of your newly uncluttered cubby and uttered the words, "toxic lunchbox." We haven't officially started our art punk band yet, but when we do, it's got to be named Toxic Lunchbox. Your quit wit does more than just spawn one-liners, however. Whether in class, at recess, or on the basketball court, your easygoing humor has made you a friend to all, a true glue guy. You bring people together, and you can seemingly talk to anyone, whether about music or sports, or the finer points of Earth actually being a giant floating cat. Tabor will be lucky to have such a student so kind, sociable, and hilarious.
Marco Antonio Cardoso da Costa.
I'm reading for Miss Curtis. Marco, do you remember our first actual conversation? We were debating the strengths and differences between La Liga and the British Premier League. We share a common love of football, soccer. At the time, I was impressed with how much you knew, as well as your quiet confidence and poise while debating the finer points of the World Cup system. Someday, you're going to record and share your long-awaited sports podcast. Really, you should do it. Over this past school year, I've come to learn that who you were in our soccer debates is who you are as a person. While most of us know you as an exceptional athlete, we also recognize that you're an empathetic listener and a deep thinker. You know how to have fun, but you also know how to work hard. You are someone that strives for excellence both on the field and in the classroom, and you realizing that is the key to success. Bishop Stang will be lucky to have you next year.
Kira Lynn Dussault.
Kira, KK, when you were just a toddler, I had the pleasure and honor to paint a portrait of you. I was lucky enough to capture the magical moment of you taking some of your very first steps. Here we are, all these years later, and you've grown into an incredible young woman. You are a brilliant student, athletic, a talented and creative artist, and a friend to all. Your generous smile warms a room, and your kindness is emblematic of what it means to be a Friends Academy student. This year, during the high school musical production, you showed your quiet strength and leadership as stage right manager, as well as decorating part of the set with wonderful portraits. Kira, I look at you and still see that little girl eagerly marching into childhood. Now, we are all privileged to witness you stride into your future, which will unquestionably be a bright one. Good luck at St. George's School this fall.
Lila Faith Kaylee Farias.
I'm reading for Miss Curtis. Lila Farias, you will be remembered at Friends for your kindness and the care that you show to others. Your smile lights up the room. You are known as a lover of animals and nature, especially horses. Lila, you have had so many successes during your time here. Your work ethic and effort are to be commended. You approached your mountain hike in grade 6 the same way you approached your time on the cross-country team in grade 8, with fierce determination and an unwavering commitment to see the challenge through to its completion. We can all learn from the example of your focus, dedication, and persistence. In our community, you have grown more comfortable with taking risks and trusting your judgment. It's been our privilege to see your independence and confidence soar. Riverview School is very lucky to have you in their community next year.
Noah Ephraim Felix.
Noah. You have a quiet confidence that serves you well. Hold on, let me start again. Noah, when you arrived at Friends, you instantly caught my attention with your desire and grit. I knew this second grader would make an impact on my basketball team. You are humble, hilarious, and thoughtful. You often step back so your peers can have an opportunity to step forward. You have a quiet confidence that serves you well. Dr. D says you're one of the most efficient lab workers she's encountered, and Mr. Wallach said you are a force to reckon with in the garden. You're the most elusive kick-the-can opponent I've ever faced. I've seen you grow into your role as big brother to your siblings. You demonstrate a love for them no matter how many people are present. And we both know you let Jonah beat you in basketball strictly to help his self-esteem as a player. Your presence will be missed in our hallways, but I'm sure Bishop Stang will appreciate receiving one of our finest Falcons.
Lillian Brooke Ganji.
Lily Ganji. That name is going to be in the record books one day. You've always been an incredibly driven athlete. In 4th grade, you were already surpassing everybody at practice, and you weren't even supposed to be there. Whether it is in soccer, basketball, or lacrosse, which no one has believed was your first time playing, you gave your whole heart and effort. But there is another side to you that we also love. You are an independent, observant, quiet leader in the classroom, and with the farmhouse students who adore you. You are fun and energetic, which must be why you were cast as a cheerleader in High School Musical. Careful to let others in, when you do, we get to know this caring, thoughtful, protective, funny, smiley kid who is confident in who she is and doesn't back down from a challenge. I'll be cheering you on next year at Dartmouth High School, where you will surely be the one to watch.
Trey Elijah Grant.
Trey Grant. When you arrived at Friends Academy, you had a blonde streak in your hair. And you told me how athletic you were. And you told me you would make the varsity basketball team by the 6th grade. I laughed and thought, I hope you're right. For the next 3 years, you proceeded to prove every word as a truth, Trey. You're driven, have an unparalleled athleticism, a genuine desire to improve, and you're a born leader. You thrive in adversity. When the going get tough had a photo, the picture would be of you. Dr. D said she loves how easily the technical concepts of science come to you and how you understand how to set up and run the lab. A fun fact about Trey is that his face graces a Nerf basketball hoop package. I have a feeling that won't be his last national endorsement. Tabor Academy is receiving a true gem. Keep shining, Trey.
Anna Eleanor Hurlichek.
Anna, whether in the classroom or on the field, you have moved through your time at Grace, at Friends, with a dancer's grace, purpose, and work ethic. You developed and taught the choreography for High School Musical, and you were integral to choreographing the thousands of moving parts that went into this year's Amicus. Your service project, meanwhile, will go down in legend, bringing in books and clothing by the truckload. On the academic side, you led our math counts team to state finals as captain, and you've shown balance in our ethics bowl debates, expressing your own ideas and taking others' views to heart, even the ridiculous ones. Running through your many accomplishments, however, is a simple truth. You hold things together. You step up when needed, but you step back too, making room for everyone in the dance. Anna, you are my co-pilot. The Wheeler School is lucky to have you.
The next student is unable to join us in person. Madeline Elise Hurlichek.
Good.
Maddie, you are truly a force of nature. This year, I have been inspired countless times by your tenacity, focus, and resolve. People often walk away from an injustice wishing they had spoken up or stood their ground. This does not describe you. You are a fierce protector and an encouraging friend. Talent seemingly knows no bounds in you. This year, you were an important part of the Ethics Bowl team and various service projects. On stage, your acting made us laugh with abandon, and your singing brought us to tears. On the field, however, is where I was most impressed. After running intervals, doing push-ups, squats, jumping over logs, you'd be, like everyone else, suffering and visibly exhausted. Without exception, you'd look at me, still gasping for breath, and ask, "Mr. Borovich, is it okay if I go run some hills?" Go change the world, Maddie. If anyone is up for the task, it's you. Wheeler School is fortunate to have you next year.
Charlotte Elizabeth Hess.
Charlotte, I've been at Friends for only 2 of your 9 years, but what a 2 years they've been. Time and again, you've shown your passion for politics, arguing articulately in debates which, as a classmate put it, could only be improved by popcorn. When things were running less smoothly, you've shown immense determination, finishing strong in a very challenging year. Through thick and thin, though, you've proven yourself a devoted friend whose empathy and good humor have earned the love of classmates and teachers alike. On the theme of popcorn, you also have a history with microwaves, starting with an explosion in 2nd grade. Perhaps this lent inspiration to your recent film scoring project, which presented a whole world unfolding in a joyous minute of stop action microwave popping. I know you'll find ways to share your creativity, your passion, and your friendship next year at the Lincoln School.
Victoria Jean Hutchins.
I'm reading for Mr. Britt. What's awesome about Vicky? I have this vivid memory of you in 6th grade, Vicky, sitting on the floor of Miss Winchell's classroom with big headphones and no shoes on, jamming out to music while meticulously color-coding the most beautiful vocabulary chart any student has ever produced. That image captures a lot. Your quiet determination, your thoughtfulness, your joyous distractibility, your ability to get in the zone and totally forget about the world around you. That kind of mindfulness is the envy of most adults, and you'd achieved it at age 11. Yet your ability to tune out the world around you has never stopped you from being a great friend. You have a tight-knit friend group of some of the kindest people I've met, and you reflect that kindness on everyone you encounter. That kind, quiet, determined, joyous energy will bring light to Portsmouth Abbey next year.
Claire Celine Jetty.
Flashback. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo. A cautious gaze watched your music teacher fumble through the opening lessons of pre-algebra. You challenged me to prepare each night about how I was going to teach you. You held me accountable, and your goal was not the grade, but confidence. You defined your success not by readiness, but by a score. Your gaze then changed to one of a connection, and you wanted to be sure that I saw you, and I listened, and I did, and I do. Last year you wrote a poem that said, "My parents named me, and I sent the eye off with the wind into the clear, bright sky. The gentle touch of a blanket around me, under the covers, yet hiding from nothing." This year, I have been listening and watching you grow into the person you want to be. You are now graduating and heading off to Kimball Union, being sent off into the sky of clear opportunities and bright new chapters. But you are not alone. We, the soft blanket, are always here for you. So remember your words, Claire. Hide from nothing.
Lila Jan Jetty.
Lila, talk about hitting a home run in 8th grade. You're a fierce competitor and a loyal friend. You're conscientious and driven in everything you do. Let's face it, you are also possibly the first 8th grader to have written a 5-page lab notebook treatise of a 1 centimeter cube. On a serious note, you let nothing get in the way of your goals, both academically and athletically. Even while striving to always achieve your best, however, you have also been willing to push yourself to the edge of your comfort zone. It is one thing to be great at something you excel at, but you have inspired others by also being willing to spread your wings and try things that you're not as confident about. You made a powerful impact in the classroom, on the field, on the court, and in the halls of Friends Academy. I have no doubt you will continue to inspire and to wow us at St. George's.
Addison Isabella Costin.
Addie, a writer once encourages readers to be like a duck, paddling and working very hard underwater, but showing everyone a calm and smiling face above. This description of a duck reminds me of you, and not just because you both like to spend a lot of time in the water. You are one of the hardest working students I've had the privilege of knowing, and yet you seem to make it look effortless. This year alone, you've handled your independent study in math, helped organize dances and other activities with student leadership, participated in the Ethics Bowl and math counts, stayed active on your swim team, and managed to keep up with your academic responsibilities and more, consistently working at a high level and even taking time to write a poem about how much you really don't like writing poetry. Your hard work and calm demeanor will serve you well in the future, and especially at Bishop Stang in the fall.
Michael Darwin Leaney.
May I? Yes, thank you. Better.
Michael, you are one of those rare people who are effortlessly themselves. You are quick-witted, hilarious, and you make brilliant intellectual connections. More importantly, you are positively, in the truest sense of the word, creative. This year, I have loved watching you produce work that is often profound or completely over the top. When I was writing your first trimester report, I found myself typing these words. It's as though Michael's work is fueled by some high-octane cosmic uber juice, and I meant it. I fondly remember skiing with you and your dad when you were quite young. You showed no fear or hesitation as you got into a tuck and pointed your skis straight down the mountain. You knew the way then, and you're showing us the way now. Just remember to turn your skis at least every once in a while when you get to Tabor this fall.
Samuel Antonio LaRusso III.
Trey, as a 5th grader, you were asked to write about your greatest fear. You wrote, "I'm afraid of what I don't know because I don't know what I don't know, and not all things are true." You are a wise soul, intuitively motivated to ask probing questions. Your passion for analyzing current events reveals an inquisitive and cleverly disguised, an inquisitive mind, and cleverly disguises a brilliant way of steering your teachers off topic. Your yearbook quote, "Do people even read these?" exemplifies your ironic sense of humor. You effectively implement methods that bolster your academic and personal growth, not to mention your amazing cooking skills. Your version of General Tso's chicken has no equal, and now makes me wonder whether you will be an investigative journalist or an executive chef. Trey, as you move on to Bishop Stang, continue to cultivate your curiosity, remain open to new possibilities, and strive to take risks. And never forget that knowing the exact answer is not nearly as important as having the courage to explore the challenging questions.
Evan James McGrew.
Evan, a classic movie from 2014 features the song and the tagline, "Everything is awesome." I would rewrite that today to say that you are awesome. You're a diligent, hardworking student. You understand what it takes to succeed, and you're willing to do what it takes, whether putting in extra effort or seeking help during flex period. You're a good friend to your peers. You get along with those around you. In advisory, you're not afraid to speak your mind, but always openly and respectfully. You also serve and do various service projects outside of school on your own. And finally, from some of the discussions we've had, I also know that you're one with the Force. It has been my privilege to get to know you this year, and I've enjoyed the time we've spent together, whether working out problems in math or talking about Lego or Star Wars. Eagle Hill School is fortunate to have you.
Peter John Milligan.
Peter, your journey at Friends Academy started many years ago. In the time you have been here at FA, you have grown a lot. Your teachers describe you as a leader and a funny, kind, and sweet person. I completely agree. You have shown compassion to those around you, and you have created beautiful friendships. During your time here, you have also grown as a lacrosse player. This year, you were even one of the captains. On the lacrosse field, your ability to make others feel comfortable is to your advantage, as you often chat up the other team and sneakily distract them while you score. You know the sport well and can do everything from running the practices to getting the team energized, all of that while creating an environment of friendship. It has been a pleasure being your Spanish teacher, and I look forward to seeing what you accomplish at Tabor Academy.
Gwyneth Victoria Mock.
Gwyneth, when I think back to when we first met, it's nearly impossible to remember you not wearing your wolf hat or finding doodles of wolves on your notebooks. As you educated your classmates about the necessity of wolves in Yellowstone, I began to realize that the hat I thought was keeping you warm and the drawings that consumed your paper had a much deeper meaning to who Gwyneth Mock is and will grow to be. It's no surprise to learn that the animal you felt deeply connected to as a child is known for having high intelligence, independence, loyalty, strong intuition, and devotion to family. As I continued to work with you over the years, I watched you mature, your interests developed, and the animal doodles transformed into beautiful artwork. Your portrait of Mr. Murdoch debuted at the Talent Showcase is an excellent example of your growth as an artist. Just like the wolves in Yellowstone, you will no doubt play a pivotal role wherever you go, and Wheeler is lucky to have you.
Isabel Murphy.
Izzy, you have mastered having fun and laughing through what life throws at you. even if sometimes you appear to be up to no good. You bring the energy and the music everywhere you go, like basketball practice, for instance. And that's to say nothing of your athletic talents. You are a 5th grade starter on the lacrosse team. During field hockey, you kept us all entertained during warm-ups with your many intense, hilarious, I don't know what you were doing stories, and were fierce on the field. You took your love of entertaining to the talent showcase stage this spring as well. Izzy, behind the smiling face, you have overcome many challenges and truly grown throughout your time at Friends. You are resilient and a good friend, as those who have taken the time to get to know you are lucky enough to have experienced firsthand. We can't wait to see you in the limelight at Tabor Academy next year.
Vanessa Lynn Nemick.
Vanessa, one of my favorite memories of you this year was from our silent science class day. When your class won the contest, you said to me, everybody thought I was going to be the one to talk first because people underestimate me. But I can do whatever I set my mind to. You've spent so much of this year proving that indeed you can do whatever you set your mind to. You attack your work with tenacity and exacting care. You take pride in putting your best efforts and achieving results through hard work, determination, and intellect. But you've been equally able to find time to relax, spending time with friends, rehearsing various performances, playing sports. And yes, I saw one instance of a cake frosting incident gone awry. Vanessa, I hope you continue to challenge your teachers in a way that brings out the best in you and inspires your curiosity. I have no doubt that you will make an impact at Portsmouth Abbey next year.
Emerson Claire Palumbo.
The lights come up, the band plays, and as they hit the 3 major chord, you love that chord, a pool of light falls upon you, and the audience senses your joy and applauds for no real reason other than they realize that they are witnessing something special. The show will and must go on. Emmy, you have an expectation of yourself that eclipses words like persistence or grit or conviction. You have something that reaches far deeper. It is true that you are driven to prove something to yourself, but I think you feel a deep sense of responsibility for others. The show must go on because you will not let anyone down. Your care is consistent no matter what, whether it's a whole cast or a crew or just one other person, whether it's the main stage or a shady spot beneath an evergreen tree over at recess. You take care of people. You become the spotlight and illuminate them. We know that you will continue to shine both as an individual and as a beacon for others as you begin your journey at Bishop Stang.
Michael Andrew Pockrass.
Mike, I can remember when you started my basketball clinics. You were in the youngest group. You have always been a man of few words and big actions. As a member of the school's basketball team, I often pushed you, demanded more from you, and you always made the adjustment and exceeded my expectations. You have the attitude and a swagger that attracts success. I'll never forget your offensive explosion this season and the way your teammates reacted to each basket you made. Mike, you received high compliments from Mr. Wallach for your tireless efforts in the garden and your go-to phrase, "Es muy difícil," I hope I said that right, always makes Miss Matias laugh. Michael, you're a dependable friend and a solid all-around person. As you embark on your journey, remain who you are. Bourne High School will be a better place because you are there.
John Robert Smith.
Jack, when I talked with some of last year's teachers, one phrase kept coming up. Wait until you see Jack Smith. While sometimes this is a cause for concern, it was always said with a smile and a very positive tone. The implication was clear. They believed that I would really enjoy having you in my class and getting to know you, and I did. You're attentive, hardworking, and inquisitive. You are quick to note when I make a mistake, but you always point it out in a very polite way. You're a good friend to your peers and seem to be able to get along with anyone. And you've been an active part in student leadership, helping to plan activities and events for your classmates. Jack, if I get the chance to talk to someone at Portsmouth Abbey this summer, I'm going to tell them, wait until you see Jack Smith.
Tyler Jared Stanzioni.
Tyler, the interscholastic man of mystery, stoic, athletic, intelligent. When I saw Tyler, the coach in me instantly asked him, "What sports do you play?" He said, "Baseball, football, riding dirt bikes, a true outdoorsman, and a well-known dog lover." With that schedule, I could never get him to consistently play school sports. This year, when Tyler found out I had to fill in for Coach Murdoch, coaching lacrosse, seeing the fear on my face, Tyler said, "I hope you out, Coach." Thank you. There are so many students that look up to you for the way you carry yourself. You're modest, humble, and treat others the way you'd like to be treated, an admirable trait. Tyler, you worked hard to accomplish your academic goals. Miss Marta says she admires your determination, sense of humor, and the way you rise to the occasion when facing adversity in the classroom. Though you're becoming a Providence Country Day Red Raider, you'll forever be a Falcon.
William Sebastian Walker.
William, most middle schoolers are content to play video games. You taught yourself to code Java, quote, "because I don't have any friends to play tic-tac-toe with me." You are not just a digital native, but an explorer. You've enriched our discussion with news of cutting-edge developments in technology and their implications for society. You've explored travel in antiquity, reading Brendan the Navigator in Latin, and navigating virtual maps of trade routes through the centuries. You even seem to have learned something via Latin on Fuel Online. It's also completely untrue that you don't have any friends. You always look serious in class and are actually getting work done, but there's always a bit of play running in parallel. Spending 3 weeks coding so that a certain friend of yours can lose to your tic-tac-toe bot. This is the kind of game you play. Play on next year at Dartmouth High School.
Timothy Yusin Wang.
Timmy, of the many shocking things I've heard you say, the most shocking of all is that you only started speaking English in 3rd grade. You are master of the perfectly timed comment. Time and again, you have left us all in stitches. Nukes? Recently, though, you have found a way to use this power for good. For a number of weeks, my humanities students would head off to Dr. Chris's classroom to recite their poetic creations and then come back. One day, a group returned, wide-eyed and looking slightly flushed. Did you hear what Timmy wrote? Even here, though, they were smiling behind their shocked expressions. Also, for someone so quiet, you play a really loud instrument. You have delighted audiences with your amazing drum playing. Here, too, you show yourself a master of timing. Keep sharing your many talents as you continue your studies at Portsmouth Abbey.
Class of 2022, please rise and turn to face your families. We now present the class of 2022. All right, please be seated. And at this point in the ceremony, I invite you to join middle school faculty member and maestro Putnam Murdoch in singing Hail the Gray and Blue. You can find the words on the back of your program. Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. Congratulations, class of 2022. We are so proud of all that you are and all that you are still becoming. I leave you today by revisiting Ruben's flurry of emotions, having just returned the $100 bill and therefore giving up his dream of a new bike. I am happy and mixed up, full and empty, with what's right and what's gone. Throughout your lives, you will be confronted with your own versions of Ruben's dilemma time and again. The situations will change, the objects of your desire will shift, the consequences of your actions will vary. It's rarely easy to do the right thing, and you may not even make the right choice the first time. But it's never too late to revisit that mistake, like Ruben, and do what's right. After all, your being and becoming, your willingness to live a rich and full life means inevitable missteps. It's what you do with these undesires, how you take responsibility for them, and whether you possess the courage to do what's right is all that really matters in the end. To conclude our ceremony, the class of 2022 will recess past their families and past their faculty. We invite you to join our newest graduates in the gym for refreshments following the recessional. Thank you all for coming. Travel safely, be well, and best wishes for a wonderful summer.